What's up guys, I'm Joel Dodge, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about some things that make music production on the iPad unique. And I'm going to talk about some of the good things, some of the bad things. Let's get into it. So guys, I just want to start out this video saying that I have been busy lately and haven't been posting as many videos as I normally do. And that's just because my life has been busier. And it's nothing bad, I just have a lot more going on right now. And it's probably going to be like that till the end of the summer. So just expect that I'm not going to be posting as many videos as I normally do for the next couple months. And that's also why I wasn't able to upload a video with a reaction to WWDC, which I definitely wanted to do. It just didn't work out. But in general, my thoughts are the same as almost everybody else who talked about it. It's kind of disappointing that we didn't get more. It seemed like the iPad, this generation especially, was going to be capable of a lot more. So hopefully that is still going to be coming down the line in the future, but you know, we didn't get anything like Logic or anything that a lot of us were kind of hoping to see this year. All that being said, I've kind of been on this train of thought since WWDC, just kind of thinking about why it was such a big deal to everybody that Logic was coming or not coming, and what music production on the iPad has to offer right now versus the computer. And I want to avoid some of the more general topics that I feel like people talk about a lot, like that it's so much cheaper to buy apps on the iPad, and that's completely true. That it is a much more cost-effective way to get into music production. But then on the flip side of that, people usually say the downside is that it's not as reliable. And that's definitely true too. But I wanted to dive into something a little deeper with this video and talk about the workflow of music production on the iPad versus the computer. Because the more I think about it, I feel like this is really where the key difference is. And I think the easiest way for me to explain it is that the iPad is more focused on the music creation side, where the computer is more focused on the music production, like mixing and mastering. And the more I think about it, this is really where I think the big difference lies between music production on an iPad versus a computer. Most DAWs on the iPad, when you open them up, instead of showing you the layout of everything that you have going on in your musical project, most of them tend to focus on a single instrument, so that your focus is just using this instrument that's in front of me right now. Where I think most of us that have used a computer to make music, the focus is actually on everything. You're seeing everything all at the same time, which I think lends itself really well to mixing and making adjustments to your entire mix and thinking of things as a whole. But when it comes to making music, like creating music, you do one instrument at a time. And I think that's where the iPad really shines, is that it takes your attention and focuses it on one thing at a time. I know for me, just looking at my own life experience with using the iPad versus using a computer, which I've been using the iPad for all my music production for the past 2 years. I was actually never able to completely finish songs on my own before I started using the iPad. What I would always do in the past is write my songs and then go to a studio and record them there. And that was because I didn't have something like the iPad that was so easy for me to capture my ideas. I would always find myself sitting at a computer trying to record myself, and it just was frustrating because I was just overwhelmed by having so many different things on the screen all at the same time. Or I would start recording and I would just start getting caught up in mixing and like making adjustments to things. And I think that's really been such a huge game changer for me with music production, is that I have the iPad now where it just really helps me get all the ideas out into the project. And that's something that's been really cool. And I was able to do that in the past working with a producer, right? So I would come in with my song idea, and they would just handle all that side while I would just play and sing and record. And that's just not as cost productive, right? To have to hire a studio every time you're trying to record one of your ideas and share songs with people. So for me, it's been really great to have the iPad because it kind of fills, there was like a hole for me in this crucial part of creating the music and recording it, right? That I just really never had a good solution for on my own before the iPad. And I think that's really where the iPad shines, is like to help you create and articulate your ideas, and it helps you focus on the creation side of things. As great as the iPad is for the creation process, it is a little bit lacking in the mixing process. And I think a good example of this for me is that I could really use something that would help me like quantize audio. In most DAWs on the computer nowadays, they have a feature called transient detection. And what this does is you just click one button and it shows you markers of where like peaks in volume happen in your audio. And you can either click to just quantize that, or you can go through and easily move audio to match your timeline. Right? So there isn't anything like that on the iPad, or at least there is an Audio Pro, and I have been trying that out, but it's not as reliable as you'd want it to be. And so what I've been having to do with my mixing, because I record so much real audio, is I've been having to go in and cut anything that needs to be adjusted, move it, and then crossfade. And there aren't really shortcuts for those things either on the iPad when you're mixing. So you have to go in manually and do this to anything that's not falling exactly on the beat. And when you record as much real audio, like most of my songs and tracks are like at least 50-60% real audio, because I'm a guitar player and a singer, that just represents a really big chunk of time that would be moving a lot faster for me if I was doing that on the computer. I guess what I'm trying to say with all of this is that I think the key difference is this creation versus production. That the iPad really excels at helping you get the creative ideas out of your head and actually have them recorded, where it doesn't excel at the mixing and the production process. And it's not that you can't do those things. I've been doing all my mixes on the iPad for the past 2 years, and I've enjoyed it, and it's been really cool. But something I've been thinking about lately is just the fact of how much those tools that are in most DAWs on the computer would be helping me. And I think that's why so many people really want to see Logic and have been kind of let down that Logic didn't come. And I'm definitely one of those people. I was really hoping that we were going to get it, and that it would be able to kind of impact this side of music production on the iPad. But I guess for me, I've kind of been thinking about it, at least the past couple days, more in the sense of kind of it trying to embrace what the iPad is and not trying to make it more than what it is, at least right now. And I think for me, I am going to start doing more of my mixing on the computer. And that's because I want to try to be as efficient as possible when I'm making music. And at this point, it's just become obvious to me that mixing everything on the iPad, even though it works and I've been really happy with the music that I've been able to get out of it, it's not as effective when it comes to like just considering how long it takes me to do these certain things that would literally just take a few clicks on a computer. So that's just something that I've been thinking about, and I was kind of holding out, hoping that Logic would actually come and that you would be able to do all these things on the iPad. That being said, I guess what I'm trying to say with this video is I'm going to start looking at the iPad as a music creation device and at the computer as where I'm going to do my production, like getting that song ready to be shared and mixed and mastered. And it's not something I'm going to be doing like right away. The thing is, I have to kind of build in my plugin library and stuff like that on my computer, so that I can actually have the tools, all the tools that I need. But I am going to start incorporating the computer more into my mixes But all that being said, I'm definitely going to continue to record and create my ideas on the iPad. And I think that a lot more people, especially like songwriters and people who make beats, should really consider doing more of their production process on the iPad because of how it really just helps you get your ideas out. These are just some random things that I've been thinking about, and I'm definitely going to start approaching with this mindset when it comes to music production. But I would love to hear what you guys think about what I'm saying in the comments down below. But as always, DieMT. I'll catch you in the next one.